the foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you.
Algunos dicen que el Café de las 10 es el programa más interesante de Internet.
Otros dicen que el Café de las 10 es el programa más inútil de Internet.
La verdad es que no lo sabemos.
Lo que sí sabemos es que de las 10 de la mañana a las 12 del día vas a pasar un rato muy agradable hablando de diferentes temas como
noticias,
videojuegos,
actualidad,
videojuegos,
política,
videojuegos,
salud.
Mira, no te lo pierdas. De lunes a viernes a las 10 de la mañana, escucha el Café de las 10 en ADR Networks.
activando tus sentidos.
Escúchenos, perros.
Estás escuchando ADR Networks.
Yo soy Monse Guarneros.
Yo soy Fer Gómez.
Y yo Lalo López, y esto es Tu Voz, Unidos por Ti.
Historias de una fundación que ha llegado a tu hogar y que ha solucionado muchos problemas de ustedes.
Ayuda, dona, apoya y síguenos en nuestras redes sociales.
Además, sigue nuestras transmisiones a través de ADR Networks todos los jueves a partir de las 8 de la noche.
Activando tus sentidos.
ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Amigos, queremos invitarlos
A que no se pierdan La Casa del Pelotero
todos los jueves de 7 a 8 de la noche.
A través de ADR Networks.
Activando tus sentidos.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Yo soy Alberto Morales.
Y yo soy Yolanda Muedano.
Y te invitamos a nuestro programa Jite Karate Do, Artes Marciales y Deportes de Contacto.
Todos los lunes en punto de las 9 de la mañana.
Para platicar de lo mejor de las artes marciales.
Aquí en ADR Networks.
Y ADR Sports.
Activando tus sentidos marciales.
Hola, yo soy Alicia Rábago y te invito a que todos los viernes a las 9 de la mañana no te pierdas Acompañándonos. Es un programa que tiene temas de salud, de educación, de bienestar, de crecimiento personal, de estar y compartir. Son programas de interés para ti, para mí y para todos. Así que te espero los viernes 9 a.m. en Acompañándonos por ADR Networks.
Hola, soy Hanna de la Madrid y te invito a que todos los jueves en punto de la 1 de la tarde nos acompañes en el programa Psycho Mom. Estaremos hablando de temas de actualidad y los retos que enfrentamos las mujeres en nuestro día a día. ¿Por dónde? En ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Aviso urgente para todos los amos y guerreros del camino. La espera terminó.
Llega el programa más loco e irreverente de las 5-7. Este es un reto para todos los que se mueven sobre ruedas.
Si tú quieres que tus sentidos exploten al máximo, escucha al equipo de las 5-7.
Te esperamos con buen humor, música y mucha información.
Recuerda, equipo de las 5-7 en acción por ADR Networks.
Te esperamos todos los martes y jueves.
De 6 a 7 de la tarde. Activando tus sentidos.
Hola amigos, yo soy Mike y los quiero invitar todos los viernes a la 1 de la tarde a que sintonicen Magic Mike, donde encontrarán las mejores sugerencias para qué ver, qué leer o a dónde ir. No se lo pierdan, viernes 1 de la tarde por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Estás escuchando ADR Networks. ¿Te perdiste alguno de nuestros programas en vivo? Recuerda que todos nuestros programas se suben en formato de podcast. Solo busca el nombre del programa en tu plataforma favorita de podcast y ¡listo! ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos. ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Entrevistas, reportajes y mucho más.
Lunes, miércoles y viernes a partir de las 7 de la noche.
Con la mejor información deportiva solo por ADR Networks. Activando tus sentidos.
ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Los saluda Mariano Rivapalacio y los invito a que me acompañen todos los miércoles en punto de las 6 de la tarde en Factor Total. Aquí hablamos de temas de salud, de ciencia, de tecnología, problemáticas sociales, cultura y tradiciones, siempre de la mano de especialistas y voces autorizadas. Ya lo saben, 6 de la tarde, tiempo del Centro de México, a través de las plataformas digitales de ADR Networks. Factor Total, activando tus sentidos.
That's orange show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That's Orange Show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS.
Hola, yo soy la doctora Verónica Ortega y te invito a aprender de medicina, medicina funcional, salud, bienestar, cocina natural, ejercicio, mindfulness y mucho más todos los lunes en punto de las 7 en mi programa Salud y Bienestar por ADR Networks, activando y sanando tus sentidos.
Hola, soy Jonathan Tonatiu y te atrapo los martes a las 4 de la tarde aquí para conocer el mundo del teatro. Vamos a viajar por noticias, estrenos, información y muchas cortesías. ¿Sabes en dónde? En ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Hola, soy Eric Cadena.
Yo soy Ale García. Y yo, Mariana Torres. Y te invitamos a que no te pierdas TU,
un programa del mundo del entretenimiento donde tocaremos temas como música,
teatro, televisión,
artistas invitados, cine, series
y mucho más. Así que te la pasarás TU todos los sábados a la 1 de la tarde
por ADR Networks,
activando tus sentidos.
¿Listo para llevar tu marca al siguiente nivel? La audiencia digital crece cada día y es hora de que tu marca sea parte de esta revolución. En ADR Networks alcanzarás a miles, incluso millones de oyentes en todo el mundo. Imagina la exposición que esto significa para tu marca. No solo serás escuchado, sino que también tendrás a tu audiencia compartiendo y conectándose en las redes sociales, multiplicando tu presencia en línea. Contáctanos en nuestras redes sociales y descubre cómo ADR Networks puede impulsar tu éxito. Haz que tu marca resuene en el mundo digital.
Hola, yo soy Javi Gamboa y te invito a que no te pierdas todos los jueves en punto de las 9 de la noche Naked Lunch con lo mejor del rock y el metal, el soundtrack de tu vida, entrevistas y mucho más. Ayúdanos a desnudar a nuestros invitados por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos. Yeah.
ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Hola, yo soy Filiberto Romo.
Y yo Roberto Cárdenas. Y juntos les llevaríamos un viaje por la historia.
Desde un punto de vista diferente.
Por las barbas de la historia.
Un programa diferente todos los sábados a las 10 de la mañana.
Por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Nosotros somos
Tony Nieto.
Yo soy Cox y los invitamos a que no se pierdan todos los miércoles de
3 a 4 de la tarde.
Nuestro programa Conectados por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Hola, nosotros somos
Ramón Martínez
y César Alcántara y te invitamos todos los jueves en punto de las 4 de la tarde en tu programa De la Muerte a la Vida,
con temas espirituales que te fortalecerán en tu crecimiento a la madurez espiritual por ADR Networks y ADR Wellness,
activando tus sentidos. No faltes.
Te esperamos.
Hola, soy Luis Flores. Te espero todos los viernes en punto de las 9 de la noche, tiempo del Centro de México, en mi programa Momentos de Espiritualidad, donde platicaremos sobre temas como ángeles, sanaciones, seres de luz y demás temas tan interesantes. ¿En dónde? En ADR Wellness, activando tus sentidos y tu espíritu.
Estás escuchando ADR Networks.
Queridos amigos de Trending Topic, Sergio el Pelón Juárez para recordarles que los esperamos todos los martes.
No. ¿Cómo que los martes, Padre Santo?
¿Qué no eran los martes?
¿No te enteraste del memo de que ahora ya son los jueves?
Sí, pero se me olvidó. Los esperamos los jueves, a partir de esta semana, todos los jueves, de 3 a 4 de la tarde por ADR Networks.
Trending Topic con Sergio Juárez
y Enrique Ortega. Nos vemos los jueves.
Hola a todos, yo soy Rosalinda García, la morfopsicóloga número 1 de México. Quiero invitarlos a ver este nuevo programa, Rostros Desnudos, un programa en el que conocerás la personalidad, la psique, el corazón, el amor, todo lo que les interesa saber sobre la personalidad. Así que no se lo pierdan todos los viernes a las 12 de la tarde por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Inicia tus mañanas con buena actitud, bien informado en temas de actualidad, salud, noticias, entretenimiento y todo lo que quieres saber respecto a tu día a día.
That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show.
ADR Networks presenta Las opiniones expresadas en este programa son responsabilidad exclusiva de quienes las emiten y no representan necesariamente el pensamiento o alguna posición oficial de este medio de comunicación. ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isa Crouch.
And this is...
Foreign Show!
On the foreign show.
Yes, yo.
What's up,
what
people?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
My name is Celestine Angel.
My name is Isaac Rakesh, and welcome to the show, That Foreign Show, here on ADR Networks, activating your senses. Yes, and we are going to zone in on a particular sense today, one particular sense. You want to tell them about it?
What sense?
The sense of taste.
Yes, okay, sir. Yes, we are talking about a Korean restaurant that we visited last weekend. We're just going to do like a quick a little review on it because the food was really good.
The food was great, and not just that, our guest that's going to come on later today is also going to be touching this topic of taste and restaurants and business specifically. We're going to be talking to Ben Lai in a bit, and he's going to talk to us about a project that he's going to be embarking on real soon.
Yes, that's so true. It's all about taste today.
All about taste today, yes.
Soru is the restaurant that we're talking about. It's a Korean restaurant, and it's not just that the food there is very good. It's also very beautiful, so it's worth checking out. They are one of these places, these Korean restaurants that serve you a lot of small dishes when you eat. And when you order like a soup, like the serving seems small because like there are some Korean restaurants that offer like huge servings, but it is actually quite filling. Like we had I just ordered like a seafood soup thing that comes with rice, and I was very satisfied, especially since there were all these small dishes that came along with it. Yeah, Isaac had the usual bibimbap.
Yeah, the bibimbap was on point. The bibimbap was real nice, actually.
Yeah.
And kind of like what Celestine says, the portions are not the biggest, right? But you're kind of satisfied, right?
Yeah.
It leaves you satisfied.
So bibimbap is like one of the like star Korean dishes, I would say. Like to know what Korean food is like, try bibimbap and you will know. And also like Isaac didn't want meat in his bibimbap, and usually bibimbap comes with meat, or like you can have other versions, but like the standard one is with meat. So Isaac told them that he didn't want the meat, and they changed it to salmon, which is so cool.
Yeah, it tasted pretty good. So you mean usually bibimbap actually comes with what kind of meat does it usually come with?
I think chicken, pork. Okay. I mean, I think it's like any of the meats. I don't know if there's a standard one meat. I'm not sure about that. But
but the salmon one was on point, and it was really good actually.
Yeah, and also to tell like how good a restaurant is from how good a Korean restaurant is also from the small dishes that they give. The side dishes that they serve you on the house, and the side dishes were really tasty.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, this restaurant is definitely like an experience, because like the atmosphere is also another thing. Yeah,
the atmosphere is really nice. Like you feel really comfortable in there, and it actually feels like it feels a bit like a living room of some sort. A person's kind of really highly renovated kind of living space. The dining experience feels really comfortable too, because you get these nice like low, pretty low kind of tables, that allows you to kind of talk to your guests, talk to your friends in a comfortable kind of way. And we know the boss over there, and she's really friendly, came around giving us a nice hospitable kind of feeling,
Yes.
Overall, really nice vibes.
Like one of our friends, he knows the female boss, and and she came with this like homely vibe, so it was overall a great experience. And that's all we have to say about Soru. You should check it out. We actually do know quite a few Korean restaurants, so we would not like expecting to be blown away or anything, but we were. Yeah, it
was good.
So
we highly recommend this place, so go check it out. Soru, the address is over there, right?
Yeah, like today's theme, as we said, is about taste.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if our guest is on yet.
He's signing in.
He's signing in now?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's in already. Okay, Ben is in already.
He's in the building. Ben is in the building, in the studio.
And just to let you know, so Ben is also Singaporean,
Yes,
and
sir.
we are doing like all things food today. So it's going to be a tasty episode. Let's have Ben
Singapore
on.
in the house. What's
Hi,
up?
Ben.
Hey, Ben. Welcome.
glad to be on the tasty episode and not the not so tasty episode that I did. I think 2 years.
That was.
But
that was
also
a different sense. It
kind
wasn't taste, right?
It was businessy too. This is also business/food. Yes.
Glad to have you back for a second time on the show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me back.
Yes. So we've been telling the people, we've been warming them up basically that you have something really interesting, exciting to share, and a project that's related to taste. And yes, why don't you tell the people in your own words?
Okay, so together with some friends, we are starting a restaurant called Nudo. And Nudo means not in Spanish, but sounds like noodle in English. So we'll be selling noodles and boba tea. So the idea is that we'll bring together noodles from different parts of Asia that will sell on staple. So for example, laksa, pho, tom yum noodles, which do not really exist in Thailand, which would be a fusion of us.
Right.
As ramen and other kinds of noodles such as pan mian. And then
Ban mian. Oh, great.
Wow. Okay.
Wait. So tom yum noodles, we do have it in Singapore, right? Or no?
I mean, there's the tom yum instant noodle. But if you go to Thailand, tom yum is served usually as a soup and then fried.
With rice.
Right.
For us, we're going all in with the concept of noodles. We have seen that noodles have become very popular, especially with ramen. But if you look at different kinds of noodles from Southeast Asia, like pho, right now there are already, I think, 4 or 5 places that sell pho, such as Pho King, Mama San, laksa as well. So we think that there's demand for different kinds of noodles. Of course, technically pasta from Italy is also noodles, but it's not from Asia, so we won't be doing that kind of noodles. So we're focusing on the noodles that we can find in Asia. And once we get operations stable, we'll be bringing noodles by season, so we can, because there are many different types of noodles from different parts of Asia, like red curry noodles, etc. So we'll be looking forward to bringing those to Mexico City in the future.
Right. So the idea is to bring like the taste of Asia, like noodles being like the main idea, to bring all the taste of Asia over to Mexico City and let people like taste like Thai noodles, Singaporean noodles, basically, right? Because laksa is Singaporean noodles. Thai noodles will be tom yum.
Ban mian is a Chinese.
China.
Right?
Yeah, so basically you're curating like a taste of the country through these noodles, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking the concept is like.
And I think it's one of the things that I've learned on the way. So laksa, we might think it's from Singapore. That's because we are Singaporeans. Malaysia, they have laksa too. Indonesia, they have laksa as well. So like a lot of the noodles that we are familiar with actually cross borders quite a bit. So one of the things that we are trying to educate ourselves is also to understand, where else sells this kind of noodles, and then try to say, hey, there could be, or there's definitely variations between how different places prepare each dish, and this is what we feel, would appeal most to Mexicans, or what we feel most familiar with.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
want to.
It makes sense because, there's Penang laksa as well, which is so different from the ones that we have in Singapore. And, laksa is supposed to be Peranakan, which, that's me.
Okay, so
and then my grandma also has our version of laksa. Like Peranakan laksa is eaten with a spoon. The noodles are shorter. So, there's all these. But are you going to go into it in the restaurant? Will you explain something about these noodles and stuff like that?
I think we'll definitely try to give a background on the noodles and what are the ingredients that are found across all of the different versions that are available in Asia. We are not an expert ourselves, but we try to give everybody the best experience possible in terms of learning about the food and as well as having a good meal.
So good Ben, meal. Can you tell us what actually inspired you to? I mean, the concept is great. Like when it's like like you mentioned, to get noodles, you have to go to certain places, right? Like Pho King for the Vietnamese kind of stuff. But to have all of that in one place, I think is a great idea, and I think it's really going to catch on. But just to get a bit of going into a bit of your inspiration, what made you get into this?
So, so I used to work for the Singapore government, and I left the service in February this year. So I left, and I was thinking, okay, look, I'm coming back to Mexico. So how do I stay on in Mexico? And I thought about starting a business. So I left with several ideas, three specifically, and then I traveled through Southeast Asia, through many countries, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, also to see what has been happening in Southeast Asia, because I've left the region for quite a while. And then when I came back, I started talking to potential partners. We had several pivots. So the first idea that we had was to start a bingsu restaurant, so the Korean ice shaving restaurant. And then as we discussed, we did more market research. We found that it might not be as viable because the habits of Mexicans are very different. So in Mexico, generally, you eat and then you order dessert in the same place. Whereas in Singapore and Asia, it's very common that we'll eat in a restaurant that's famous for food. And after dinner, we'll say, okay, where shall we go for dessert? And then we'll find the dessert place, go there, have the second round, and then maybe the third round after that. So that kind of picked up the idea of the bingsu. After that, we wanted to we were still very keen on food. So we looked at sando, and then sando and pao. And then eventually we fell in love with the idea of having different noodles from Asia under one house.
Yeah, I mean, you actually did your travel, and then that gave you inspiration. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's. Can you tell us a bit about that? Like, you said you went to these Southeast Asian countries, because over here generally people, obviously they have some idea of Asia, Southeast Asia, but they're not very familiar of the differences, between, like Thailand, and yeah.
So I would say that Southeast Asia is very similar to Latin America in many ways, and also different in different ways. So in Southeast Asia is made up of about 13 countries. The difference is that the land size is a lot smaller. So from Singapore, you could fly, take a 2-hour flight and be in 13 different cities across Southeast Asia. Whereas coming from Mexico, we know that flying 2 hours from
You're still in Mexico.
Yeah. Cuba, it's 2.5 hours. So there's a very big difference in size. A lot of the different Southeast Asian countries have their own languages. So every country speaks a different language. There are many different dishes that you have. But as a whole, there's quite a lot of integration as a region, very similar to Latin America. So in Latin America, you have a lot of visitors coming from other Latin countries, and the same for Southeast Asia. I think the benefit that we have in Singapore is that we are kind of very centrally located in Southeast Asia. That has allowed us to do very well in terms of business and logistics. But if you look at it further back, because a lot of people pass through Singapore, we have also a very good fusion of different foods from Southeast Asia, and that's where the different tastes and the different recipes have mixed. So when I went back to Singapore, I said, okay, I've been away from the region for a while. Wanted to check out what's going on in Southeast Asia, how the retail scene has developed. So I visited quite a few countries. Most of it, I would say 99.9% was holiday. So I was just relaxing. It was also very nice because I managed to spend about 2 weeks in total traveling with my parents. It was not in Southeast Asia, also in China and Japan. But that was very nice to spend time with family. But from there, got a lot of ideas and have seen how the retail as well as the F&B scene has grown in Asia. And when I came back to Mexico, we started talking about different ideas. And then, something that's cross Asia seemed to be very interesting for us.
So, I mean, like, definitely you're picking these noodles and then you have your favorites and stuff, and then what like I'm sure you think like something is going to be more exciting to introduce to your Mexican friends over here, and like what are those? Could we discuss them?
Okay, so I would say I wouldn't really have favorites in terms of the flavor of the noodles. I think that most of the like every noodle is distinct, and I enjoy most of the
You
noodles.
like all of them, yeah.
Like all of them. I like eating carbs, but I don't like the calories from carbs. So one of the products that we are thinking of bringing is this Japanese, I think it's called kanjia. How do you pronounce it? Konjac noodles.
Konjac, right?
Konjac, right?
Yeah, because we also use them to wash the face. Konjac. And it's also noodle. Yeah, it's edible, yeah. Oh, cool. You're bringing those? Oh.
It's edible. It is tasteless, but then when you put it into a broth where you have noodles, it will soak up the flavor. And a huge thank you.
Hey, shout out.
What's that called? And a huge amount of this is without calories. So we're going to bring this and other option. Any of the noodles that we have, you can have this type of noodles, and then less calories. So that's my favorite.
Yeah, that's so super because like there are a lot of people obviously on this like low carb lifestyle right now, right? Yeah, you being one of them, and they will be very excited for this. I'm sure.
That's a great idea. Shout out to Daniela. Thank you for your comment there. Guys, you can also ask Ben any questions about this.
I say putting you on the hot seat.
About this really interesting and amazing concept that is that we're all really actually very keen to try. And I want to ask you, Ben, so these ideas that you have, I mean, your chef or the person who's actually going to be doing the cooking, like maybe you can tell us a bit about his background or what is your, how is that going to be? Is it going to be kind of like a...
Or who's setting up the recipes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my partners, Eric, he's from Taiwan. He's really running a restaurant in Guatemala called Sanchu. It's a Taiwanese restaurant, so he already has a lot.
Oh, that's your partner? Okay. We just went like a couple of weeks ago to Sanchu.
Okay. Yeah. So he's doing a lot of the recipes. And then so he already has a lot of experience with handling with the distributors' recipes, and then also making the process very standard so that we have very good consistency when you go to the restaurant today versus 2 months later, you are eating the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you got someone who is already established here and he's going to set up that. But like you will have to teach your staff like how to do the cooking parts and get everything right, and so
for us, we are going to do a very productized approach. So it's not going to be super gourmet in the sense of we're going to make sure that all the measurements and all the ingredients that we use are pre-cut, pre-prepared in a way that is very systematic, and that you can just combine the different noodles, ingredients, meat, protein, vegetables to get the desired outcome that we want every time consistently.
Oh, that's great. I like that, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that also. Like, so it's going to be kind of like people expect to get their food fast, kind of thing, right? Right. Okay.
People expect to get their food fast. In Mexico, not so much. I found that Mexicans are very patient when it comes to ordering their food served slowly. It's not something that we Singaporeans or Asians are.
Yeah, Asians are impatient. Like, where's my food? Where's my food? They'll keep asking.
Yeah, that's true.
So we definitely intend to serve food fast. But I think the more important thing is that you get a very consistent experience. That I think is one of the most important things for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, you mentioned this twice about it being consistent, right? So the basic idea is someone goes into a restaurant, they have a meal, and 6 months later, and they come back and they order the same thing. You expect them to
the flavor they wanted. Yeah.
That is
also because we are pretty ambitious. We are hoping that it will not be just one restaurant. We hope to be able to open several outlets throughout Mexico City. That's the goal. We are not sure if we can get there. So the opening of the first restaurant would actually kind of be a minimum viable product to see whether the concept works, whether Mexicans and foreigners alike like this kind of products at the price point that we are able to serve it. And we would like to bring that consistency, the same recipe to other places.
To all your outlets.
Yep.
So, like, how you visualizing your first restaurant is like what's the size? Is it going to be a big one or like?
So we've already signed a lease of a very beautiful space in Roma Norte. It's at Tonala 187. So the space is about 118 square meters on the inside. And as you know, in Roma Norte, most of the places you can do permit so that you can change the parking lot outside into a small booth where you can sit another 4 or 5 more tables. So that's kind of the area that we're playing with. We have 2 patios on the inside, which we think is something that everybody would enjoy. Maybe not these few months when it's raining so much, but once the weather gets better, especially in Mexico City, it's very comfortable, in the afternoon or in the evening to be sitting somewhere.
Like very chill.
Really great, yes.
Especially in that area because it's like the hangout spot, right? You go there and then you can relax and then just be on the outside parts. Yeah, good idea.
Yes.
So, like your dishes, like, are you planning to like tweak it to the Mexican palate, or the idea is to be as authentic as possible?
Okay, so I think if you say as authentic as possible, I think it's very hard for a few reasons. One is like, what's the most authentic laksa? Because there's
everything also it's
Singaporean laksa, there's Penang laksa. But then the base in terms of authenticity would be there will always be coconut milk, there will always be shrimp paste as the base, right? And then there'll be
fish cake. No,
fish cake we won't have. That one's too difficult, too challenging.
It's challenging.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
So it will not be unauthentic. In that sense that we say, I don't think we'll go so far as to put avocados in our laksa, like what we have done with sushi. But we'll be trying to design it such that it fits very well to the Mexican palate. So I would say that it would be a bit saltier, a bit more flavorful, which is something that I think a lot of people would enjoy as well.
Okay, interesting. Saltier, because like I never thought of like the normal laksa like back home that is not salty enough, or like that we will need more salt. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going to try your food and then we will know.
Definitely, we're going to try every one of your dishes. But what about lime? Like the kind of flavors of lime and salsa and jalapeno. Those
lime is already very common. Like tom yum, you add lime already. Laksa in Singapore, you add lime.
Right.
Or separate dish, chicken rice, you also add lime.
That's true.
To the chicken, to the sauce.
I have an idea, but I don't know if you already have it. But in Singapore we have the Hokkien Mee, the prawn ones, and that one they add lime, right?
Yeah,
so sometimes I make it here, but like I think that one maybe Mexicans will like. What do you say?
Invite me over when you make.
Okay, yeah, sure. don't think I got it right at all because it's like I need to get the right noodles and stuff. That one is like 2 types of noodles, right? The yellow one and the bihun.
It's like a mix, right? The thick and the thin.
Yeah.
Okay, so now some suppliers can supply those noodles. So the next time you cook, we can arrange the noodles. You do the cooking.
Yeah, mainly when I cook it is because I'm dying to eat it. So if your restaurant serves it, I will just go to your restaurant to eat it. Please. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, okay, we have more questions. So basically, like what do you want to share with like the Mexican public like through the noodles? I don't know, like do you have like a specific message or something?
I don't think I have a specific message, but I think in Mexico, ramen has a lot of popularity. And I think Mexicans are really used to eating ramen. And then beyond ramen, I feel that Mexicans are slowly exploring the different types of noodles that come from Asia. And I've seen, a lot of demand and, some success for pho, laksa, for different kinds of noodles. So I hope to expand this range a bit with the restaurant that we are putting. We'll also be selling the Taiwanese beef noodles, So there are many variations. So if you go to each country, I think just within Singapore alone, we have maybe more than 10, 15 types of noodles. If you go risotto and all this. So I think slowly we could bring in different noodles, kind of like how McDonald's does it, right? So they bring in, they didn't have a McSpicy in the past in Singapore, and then they bought it for a few seasons. It did very well, and then it became a permanent item on the menu. So that's kind of our approach, so that we can have.
Go to see what works, and then you implement it in the menu, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm very excited about ban mian because you say you're gonna have ban mian. I've been dying to eat that one as well. Yeah, and like recently, you know, like our Indonesian friend, our Indonesian restaurant, like in Enak, they started to put char kway teow. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, basically it's like, sorry.
Makan also has char kway teow. So you see,
Makan also got char kway teow.
Noodles are coming in already. So that's a very good sign.
Yeah.
And you guys are gonna do this kind of dry noodles as well, like dry style.
So
fried noodles.
Dry style noodles, yes. Fried noodles like Hokkien Mee, etc. I don't think so. Right now, I don't think the setup of the kitchen is
ready for that.
Do that, yeah. But then if it's noodles that's cooked and then put in sauce like ban mian, etc., those we could do.
Like, yeah, you need to start with what's manageable, and then you can expand from there, right?
Correct.
Okay, then let's jump to bubble tea.
Yes.
Because you're doing bubble tea as well.
So not just noodles, but bubble tea. So I mean, usually, like you mentioned earlier, also like, people they want to have dessert. At least where we are from, usually if you have a meal in one place and your dessert in another. But in this case, you guys are trying to combine both of those things together, right? So, can you tell us a bit about how you came to the decision to have this combi of stuff?
Actually, I think we just thought it'd be a very cute idea to have both available. One of the ways from a business and operation standpoint is that noodles usually is like a lunch and dinner dish, and then bubble tea is an afternoon kind of dish. So that would ideally keep us busy throughout the whole day. So it would make a lot of sense. The other things that we have seen the popularity of bubble tea in Mexico. You know, you have big brands coming like Gongcha, and in US, so in Zona Rosa, I think you easily have more than 20 stores selling that. When I was talking to some people, they told me that, the bus stop in Pachuca, they already have a bubble tea store. Like, okay, so there is quite interest in such a product. And I'm very sure, in Singapore, most of us, sometimes we go to the shopping mall and in the afternoon we do not know what to do. I mean, walk past the bubble tea, we just buy one or two and keep walking around in the mall.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was also feeling, that vibe, of the location that you mentioned, and people just coming by in the afternoon, getting a bubble tea, right, and then just walking around basically, and coming back for dinner possibly, right?
Hopefully.
I mean, like bubble tea is such a favorite all over Asia, and then here it's starting to boom as well. I don't know if it's starting or it's been a while, but like people like it. So like, do you plan like to have like something special like that defines you guys from the other bubble tea places, or like you're just going to go with standard ones for now?
I think we definitely have a classic range, which is the standard bubble teas that you have. Right now, we are testing a few different recipes in terms of bubble tea. So we are testing some more novel kind of ingredients. And once we have settled on what we want to use, we will have the menu, and we'll be very happy to share it with everyone.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I think already on this show you have shared a lot of things that they're not yet out, right? You already told the address.
Yes, we are not even sure when we are going to open. We hope it's going to be 1st of October.
Okay.
But even then, there are still a few milestones that we need to hit. So we hope that we can achieve that timeline. But if not, we just delay maybe 2 weeks or 1 month in case something happens.
Okay. So now we come to the fun part, because like what we really like talk about is personal growth. So like, I mean, through this process of starting this business, I think you have already started a few businesses. You have online businesses as well, right? So
No, this is going to be my first business.
Okay.
I had a lot of ideas. There are a lot of things that I wanted to do. But I think this is what I'm going all in. And quite frankly, we only started technically maybe about 1.5 months ago. So it's a very new project. So I do not
see.
know how much growth there can be.
So when you say for the people who are curious, because we do have business people that come on and stuff. When you say you started 1.5 months ago, you mean meeting your partners and getting the concept down? Okay.
So I've known my partners for quite a while, for up to 4 years, but only, and we have been talking about doing something together, etc. But only in the last 1.5 months, say, okay, let's do this. We'll all put money in. We came out with kind of a founders agreement to say what are the kind of parameters that we need to contribute, kind of responsibilities and obligations. And then we started looking for the place. We found it very quickly. So everything happened a lot faster than we expected. In a sense, right now it's sort of the easy part of the business, because it's the part where we are spending money. So we are. It's always easier to spend money than to make money. At least that has been my experience. So we are spending money on renovations. We are spending money on registration, company registration. So we are doing everything. We are importing equipment from overseas. So right now we are like at the stage of spending money, and I think that's in theory the easy part. And then the hard part would be after we open, when we have ops, when we have people. How do you manage everything so that you can start to make money, which is the whole point of business.
Right. I mean, I think it's very interesting that the Sancho boss is part of your team, because like he has been in the industry, and like clearly he thinks this idea is going to work, you know, and yeah, I think that it bodes well. And then how fast it's going is also great, because it's basically smooth also, you know. I know that you're thinking now is the spending money stage, but at least it's fast, which is cool. Yeah.
And let me ask you this, what I mean, of course, without revealing what you don't want to, you know, but like how do you guys intend to, in a way, combine your marketing, right, of your place with educating the people here, you know, like about these kinds of foods and
like the cultural exchange bit,
culturally speaking, yeah.
So I won't really say, at least I don't really think we are actively thinking about educating. I think we are putting another option on the table, so to speak, to say, hey, you know, if there's something that you like to try from a different region, from another part of the world, that normally you would have to fly, I don't know, 20-30 hours to get there, you know, you can come to our restaurant. I think one of the other interesting things is that, you know, now you don't really need to choose between, oh, you feel like eating Thai, I feel like eating Japanese, and then another guy wants like, oh, I want Singaporean food. You know, you can achieve all of that in one place. So that would be, I think, something unique to us, at least for the start.
That is really something unique, and actually, it solves a big headache also, I feel, right? Like you're sometimes in a mood for noodles, and then you go there and you have these options. Sounds perfect.
Yeah, and then you start thinking about noodles in a different way as well, because here mostly when you think about noodles is pasta, right?
Yes, pasta, or you get your I mean, you have the option of the Chinese restaurants, but the noodles there is
or ramen.
Mainly fried noodles, or you have to go to ramen places, right?
When you think of noodles, you think ramen. Yeah, but like now you expand the idea of what noodles can be like. There's different shapes, flat ones, thin ones, that kind of thing.
Colors, white, yellow.
We are giving you, Ben, a live demonstration of people's thought process, you know, when they hear this idea,
Or at least the hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for I just why don't you tell us a bit about? I know your background has been business, right? I mean, when you were working with the government, you were also involved in that line, in that industry. How has this process been? And obviously, it's challenging and it's not easy and it's taxing. Maybe you can tell us a bit about how you've grown or
I
some
want to
changes.
know, like especially in this beginning stage, you have to like learn fast what to do, and so
So I would say that very interesting. I think I've always been interested in business. That's number one in international trade, etc. Then I joined the government to help Singapore companies expand overseas, and then they posted me to Mexico. And also with that, I saw a lot of opportunities, a lot of business opportunities in Mexico. And my job was, and I still feel very strongly about that, is that Mexico is a very good market for Asian companies, for Singaporean companies to come in. There are many good opportunities here, and we should, come in and contribute to the market. So when I left, I was like, okay, now let me, because I've been saying that there are a lot of business opportunities, so let me try and do it myself. Also, the last couple of years, I've been working with a lot of business owners as well as founders, and I've been inspired by them, to do something myself. So, all of this has kind of converged, and after I left, I was like, okay, let me start something. F&B is something that's everybody understands to a certain level, because you eat at restaurants by default. And it's something that is quite accessible. So most people, given a bit of time, would be able to go out, rent a space, start cooking and serving food. So I thought that is a good area to come in.
Right, and I mean, I have a personal question because this is what I think. Just looking at the F&B here and F&B in Singapore, I think that the profit margin here is more because I would say the food is. The ingredients are cheaper to get, like if you go to the right places, and then like the prices to eat at the restaurants here, they are more expensive than in Singapore. So I think that it's actually a good industry to go in. Plus, if you're doing something exotic like some noodles from far away, you can charge higher to. And people will still be interested to come regularly, and so I think it's a good market to go into.
Yeah.
Like, is it true? What do you feel?
So I think on the surface it's true. First thing first is like when you say it's cheaper than Singapore, I think we are comparing to hawker centers. And indeed, most of the time I would say that Presto de tacos would cost you more than if you were to eat, in a hawker center in Singapore.
Yeah.
But then we have to keep in mind that, the hawker center concept, rent and everything is subsidized. So a lot of the ancillary services, cleaning of the tables, collection of the plates, washing, etc., all of these are subsidized. So that's not like a super direct comparison. One of the things that you have observed very correctly is that the cost of things in Mexico is very expensive, especially when you eat out. So when you eat out, you will realize that the prices seem to be very high, and I think that most of it is because there are also a lot of hidden costs when you operate in Mexico. So, for example, a lot of restaurants suffer because when they buy food from the markets or from distributors, it doesn't come with IVA. But then when you charge your customers, you need to pay IVA. So you pay IVA, but you don't have a IVA to deduct. So it's quite complicated when you get into the intricacies of all of these kind of things.
Right. So there are all these hidden costs that like we are not seeing, but do you feel that overall it's still like, I mean, you are in this, you decided to do this business. Yes. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I think it's pretty smart, and to
also
go into this.
another question. You're looking at other industries or other businesses as well, right? Before you zone in on this. Okay.
One was hangover supplement from Singapore. So I was thinking about doing that. The main reason why I decided not to do that is because just the COFEPRIS registration would take 12 months. and you'll be sitting around waiting 12 months to say yes, no, and then you start the import process. So I thought that was not something that I wanted to do immediately. The other business idea that I had was a custodian company for non-registration in Mexico. So foreign companies that want to sell to Mexico, they want to sell products. Some products, they will require a non-registration, normas oficiales mexicanas. So for that, usually the owner of that has to be a Mexican company. And what some companies do, which I think is a mistake, is to let your distributor or importer hold onto that record for you. Because in 1 or 2 years, let's say if the business is going well or not well, and you want to change a distributor, you are kind of, tied to the distributor or importer that owns your registration. So the idea there was to set up a company to hold on these registrations as a custodian, as a third-party neutral company. But I think that one's a hard business to do because it's hard to catch companies exactly as they are coming to Mexico. And what I've seen is also that a lot of companies entering a big market that's complex like Mexico, they spend 6 months making a decision, yes or no. So that would be a very slow business. So one of the things of the food business that excites me is that if you have a bad product or if a good product, within 1 or 2 weeks from the reviews, whether people come back, or sometimes they just, tell you at the table. So I think the fast turnaround, fast feedback is something that also attracts.
Easier to manage. So, I have a very quick last question for you because we have reached the end of our show. So what do you think as somebody who's with a business background? Like, how do you feel the market in Mexico is like for doing business? Because right now we have noticed that a lot of Chinese companies are coming in, and Mexico is like super ripe, it seems. So, how do you feel?
I think Mexico is a very hot market right now. It is growing. There continue to be a lot of investment coming into the country. So it's the right place to be. Right place to be if you're already here. And if you're not already here, you should think about coming to Mexico.
Wow, what a plug for... Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Yeah. And Ben, thank you so much. Can you tell us also when can we expect Nudo to be ready?
He said October, right?
1st October.
1st October. Okay.
Okay,
real cool. Thank you for telling us all about Nudo. We're very excited. We're seriously very excited to come and and makan and have you say?
Sorry? Invite me for Hokkien.
Just as you're speaking.
Hello?
Yeah, it jammed.
Okay, I say
me. Okay.
Oh my God, I have to cook for you. Okay. We are here on That Foreign Show with Ben Lai. I'm Celestine Angel.
I'm Isaac Rakesh.
And we are signing out. Activating your senses.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to all who joined us here on That Foreign Show. It's been awesome. I'm Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, y'all.